Hello, good morning everyone. And my name is Kang Wei. I'm actually from Qlik. So before I start, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers to have us here for this event. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm sure none of you actually heard about Qlik. So I was doing a survey earlier on, and actually a fine lady asked me, what is Qlik? What is it doing in the industry? So let me just tell you a little bit more about Qlik. Qlik is actually a Swedish company, and we actually play a big role in the BI space, the business intelligence space, and especially in the data discovery space. So we have about 33,000 customers worldwide, and in about 100 countries, and we have about 1,008 partners worldwide as well, and our annual growth rate is actually 32%. So just to give you some examples, some of the customers that we have, especially in Malaysia. So for instance, FNN, we have also banks like M-Bank, CIMB, and also telco like Maxis, and for retailer we have like a Giant, and so on and so forth. The rest are actually global logos. So let me just share with you a bit about the BI analytics space. There are actually some conventional wisdom, and also we have our own myths as well. So, and this myth actually is holding us back. So myth number one, only decision-making managers need BI. So this is actually not true, because actually based on my personal experience as well, actually a lot of people are making decisions, even they may not be the managers. Say for instance, you're coming from like a retail industry, you are talking about a sales manager who are actually managing the floor. They're actually making decisions on the fly as well. So they actually need a tool to help them actually to make decisions. So this is actually an organization chart. Spend a couple of seconds to look at this. So you can see that it's actually an org chart from like maybe the 90s. So you can see that it's actually a very old chart, and it's also depicting only the top management. So it's the same thing that goes into the when we come to like BI. So a lot of times, right, BI is only available to 20% of the top management, and it's not available to those people that actually can make a difference. So, but we can see that there's a slowly changing trend, and now we see a lot of customers, and also they actually put the power back to the those that can actually make a difference. Another myth about BI is actually good reporting is actually good BI, and it's totally not true, because reporting is just telling you actually what's happening. Is descriptive. So as you can see here, I learned very early the difference between knowing the name of something and knowing something. So if you talk about, when you look at the reporting, you know the name of something. Say you look at the product description, so you just know about the product description, you don't actually know something about it. So that's the difference when we come to analytics. There are actually three types of analytics. So let's see. The first one, which is a very common one, which is the descriptive part, where you can actually have many users, and you have very low analytics value, because all it does is just telling you what's happening, but you cannot do like. Then the next thing that is in the BI space, I think the analytics space, is actually the predictive one, which you have the ability to, based on past experiences, give you some prediction on what actually might happen in the near future. And the last bit is actually diagnostics. So it actually tells you why is it happening. So this type of analytics is actually driving a lot of values. As you can see that there are actually many users, and you can just try actually multiply by high analytic value and you can get the maximum utility. So an example is that it's actually Qlik, which is one of our products, is actually being used in this space here where we call this diagnostic analytic. So another myth is that the faster in-memory BI will fix our adoption problem. So it's actually not true. So let's look at this car. So if you give it more power, more a different engine, do you think it will actually appeal to the customers? The answer is no, because if you look at this, it's like so old school, and I don't think even you put like a machine, a powerful machine in it, it may not be even run any faster. So this is a chart that we actually got from Gartner. So in order to draw values from analytics, you need a tool that is fast, and then it's easy to use, and it's also flexible. So any other combination, right, as you can see, is not going to give you any more values. And if you see like the last one, where you have a fast analytic tool, but it's very hard to use and it's very rigid to change, so you're actually going to have an epic fall and also poor adoptions and return of investment. And a lot of times we heard about this, the myth is that we don't have analytic skills. So let's take a look at this picture. Can you see a snake in it? Can I have a show of hand who can actually see a snake in this picture? Right. So I can see that there are actually a lot of analysts out there. Because humans actually naturally have the capability to find something, and we actually manage to evolve to make decisions under stress. And it's actually built in a human. We actually have all the analytical skills, like say for instance the pattern recognition, the outlier detection. So we are able to do sorting, we are able to do categorization and relevance detection. All this, we don't really need a tool, and we are born with this, so we can actually do all this. And also there is a myth that all that we need are more visuals to help people to get the data. So visual means like you have fanciful charts, beautiful pictures to actually help your business user to actually get the data. But it's actually not true, because visuals, is a dominant sense, but it's, as you can see in the picture, there's our eye, and then in terms of neurons, the left-hand side, on my left-hand side is actually the brain, which has 100% more neurons than the one on the left, which is the eye, which is 0%. So a lot of times we actually use our brain to process, and not the eyes. Eyes probably just help you to draw your attention for a little bit. Then there is another myth saying that better access to data equals to better decision making. So there's a research here saying that, in fact, researchers have settled on what they believe is the magic number for true expertise, 10,000 hours. All this means is actually iteration. So when you're actually doing it times and times again, it's actually making you an expert, rather than you, every time there's a problem, you go and say creating a new charts and whatnot, it's actually not going to help you in terms of the drawing insights. So this is also a survey done by Cindy Hawson. So you can see that in the market we have we have Qlik, and we also have our competitor Tableau, and also the Big 4 BI. Excuse me. You can see that in Qlik we are able to draw 69% of significant business value as compared to our competitors. This is why, because in Qlik you are able to create guided analytic dashboards. So every time when a user have a question, they just need to go to the dashboard and click on something, they are actually able to draw insights from that. So later on during, in my demo session, I'll show you what it means here. So what is the Qlik product family? So in Qlik, we only carry two products, which is the Qlik View and Qlik Sense. Qlik View is actually been around in the market for almost 20 years, and Qlik Sense is a new kid on the block. So we just launched Qlik Sense this year in September. So, and all these two products, right, is actually running on the same associative data indexing engine, which enables a user to naturally follow their intuition and find their insights. So in the past, we have business intelligence, and then you have spreadsheets. So spreadsheet is actually one of the most used analytical tool in the world. But a lot of times they're actually prone to errors, and they are actually allowing data manipulation. So sometimes the version that you are getting, you are not sure whether it's the latest one or whether the number is correct. So that's where we come in when we actually first launched Qlik View. So Qlik View is intuitive, and we are having the in-memory engine and also associative engine, and it's all about business driven. Then along the way, we listen to what our customer tell us. They actually wanted to have a drag and drop tool that actually able to help them to actually build insights. So that comes along the self-service visualization part, which is actually broadening the offering from Qlik perspective. So as mentioned, with Sense, it's actually intuitive. You can create the visualization on the fly by using drag and drop, and the architecture is actually very mobile centric, so you can actually design and develop your app from mobile, like your iPad and iPhone. Also, we have what we call the smart visualizations, that you can actually use it to do storytelling.